So a couple of things in the back, under the seat. So I guess I'll start in the way back. Under the tail section, this is where the California canister, emissions evap canister used to be. I took it out. The tank is now plumbed to vent directly to the atmosphere, and the vacuum ports on both cylinders of both throttle bodies are just plumbed to each other, so you'll see that with just a single line there. So no evap canister. It gives you a little bit of space here. I used to put a tire inflation kit, a couple of rags and things there. Next to the battery, there's a nice slot down here. I used to put some tools in there. The stock toolkit is here as well, but I used to keep a few extra things under the seat. So here's the battery. It's the new Yuasa that I put in. Just in front of the battery, this little silver part here is the top of the fuse block that I added. So I got this from Eastern Beaver, a guy that I had a chance to ride with several times when I lived in Japan. He's a Canadian guy living in Japan, does a fantastic job with motorcycle electronics. So it's it's an 8-circuit fuse block. I think 2 are on all the time and 6 are switched with the ignition. You can see I've got written on there horn and headlights. So the only 2 circuits coming out now are some nice heavy gauge 10 or 12 gauge wire for the headlights, and similar for the horn that I described earlier. Everything's bundled nicely. I used this wire loom throughout, so everything is kind of bundled in pretty nicely. A little bit of extra wire there from the horn, I think, when I pulled that. This orange wire with a fuse on it is actually the on-off relay for the fuse block. So I use little pin connectors, which you'll see on the wires when you take that cover off. If you want to add GPS, I had in there into the fuse block. Also into the fuse block, I had a battery tender. And if you wanted to wire up, say, an intercom system or something else like that, there's plenty of room in the circuit there. I like using the fuse block instead of just mounting stuff directly to the battery. It's a nice little compact unit, and I'm pretty happy with it. There's one other wire here I want to point out. This little thin red wire with a 10 amp fuse in it actually is the Stardust Interruptus bypass. So this is running off of the positive lead of the battery. And this runs directly up to the relay for the starter. That's a pretty common fix for the Kark bikes. I don't know if you've had to do that on your Grezzo or not, but if you read up a little bit on that, it's called Stardust Interruptus on any of the forums, and so that takes care of that potential issue.